Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to do some smothered turkey wings, some callaloo inspired collard greens, as well as some black eyed peas and yellow rice. Now these recipes are Kamira's Kitchen originals and they're really a fusion between Southern and Caribbean. I feel like a lot of people get caught up eating the same things with the same seasonings all the time. So I'm going to show you guys how I just switch up my spices or switch up my cooking when I want something a little bit different. You're going to see me use a lot of seasonings on these turkey wings, but you don't have to use them all. I have a lot of seasonings in my house and I just like to go crazy and just try stuff when I'm cooking. So don't be overwhelmed by the amount of seasonings that I'm using. I have 6 pounds of turkey and I have added garlic powder, onion powder, some green seasoning, some garlic escallion and allspice seasoning, some Sazon Tropical. I'm using white pepper. I will also be using some chicken and poultry seasoning by Lawry's and about a tablespoon of Maggi seasoning. This is almost like soy sauce, but is a little bit different. I'm going to work this around and then I'm going to put on about 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. Now, it's not going to taste like barbecue, okay? This just adds a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of sweetness, as well as some habanero honey mustard. I already have this in my kitchen. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon of this. You could also use a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and that should work just as well. Once I work these seasonings in, I decided to go in with a little bit of Vegeta. Now, Vegeta and some of the other seasonings I've used already have salt in them, so you're not going to see me add additional salt to the recipe. The salt in the spices is the sodium that I'm putting in the recipe. I'll also add 5 cloves of minced garlic, some fresh thyme from my garden, and allspice berries and onion. I'm going to mix this together, and to save time, I prefer to pressure cook these wings, okay? Some of y'all, I know you can cover them and cook them at 325 degrees for about 2.5 hours, and you are welcome to do that. But when I'm cooking on a regular basis, I tend to just pressure cook stuff in the beginning. So I put in some chicken broth and then I added a little bit of water to my seasoning pan and I added about 2 cups of water in total. I'm then going to go in with some red peppers, a little bit more onion, and I'm also going to add a scotch bonnet. Now that is optional, but I want a little bit of, a little kick, you know what I mean? Now these are just some sweet peppers I had from my garden. They're similar to pimento peppers, but a lot of people can't get them. And I'm going to pressure cook this for 25 minutes. Now this is going to make that turkey fall off the bone. It's going to make it nice and tender and succulent. However, it is not going to brown the turkey and give it that caramelized flavor. So I'm going to take my turkey out. Okay, as you can see that bone popping out, okay, that elbow popping out, so you know it's about to be good. Okay, that elbow, when that elbow skin come up, you know that meat tender. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on a pan, and then I am going to take off the fat from the top of the gravy. Now, if you think I'm throwing that away, okay, you a fool lie. I ain't throwing that away. I'm actually going to take that fat and I'm going to use it to baste the turkey. I'm going to be baking this turkey in the oven at 400 degrees for about in total 20 minutes. That is going to give all the color you're going to need to get the flavor that you want. I'm then going to take about a half a cup of broth and just put that around the pan while the turkey is baking. I'm going to cut my Instant Pot onto saute mode, and I'm going to add in a tablespoon of cornstarch mixed with a little bit of water to thicken the gravy. I'm then going to put in just a little bit of chicken bouillon. I felt like it was lacking in some flavor. I think gravy should have a really nice flavor, so I'm also going to put in about a tablespoon of ketchup. Look, don't knock it till you try it. Some of y'all like, I don't know what this sister doing today. Try it, okay, and then get back to me. All right, you're going to be like, I see what she doing. I see what she doing, okay? Now, 15 minutes into the cook time, I went and I basted the turkey. I then put it back in for about 5 more minutes, and then the last 5 minutes, I broiled it just on both sides so it can get the nice color. So now you have the delicious turkey and you have the wonderful gravy. Now, while that has been cooking, I've been working on this callaloo inspired collard greens. So I have 2 slices of bacon and a little bit of fat back. Okay, I'm going to get the grease out of that. Okay, if you don't like Piggly Wiggly, do the turkey bacon. Okay, it's all right. You ain't got to do it. Okay, ain't forcing nothing on nobody. I'm adding in some onion, some peppers, and some okra. This is fresh okra today. This is going to add a great flavor. Toast that into the oil, and actually toasting okra in oil gets out some of the sliminess. So this is not going to be slimy at all. I'm then putting in 4 cloves of minced garlic, and I'm going to toast that too. Okay, you got to be smelling whatever you are cooking. Okay, this is now I'm also putting a tablespoon of green seasoning. I'm going to toast that for about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to take out these vegetables. I'm going to put in a little bit of water because I don't want the seasonings in my pot to burn. And then I'm putting in a pound of smoked turkey wings that have already been cut up. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of low sodium, better than bouillon. And then I'm putting in some coconut milk. Now, coconut milk is typically put in callaloo, but I am going to add it today to collard greens because I know most of you guys don't have access to fresh callaloo, but you have collard greens. So we're just doing a little fusion dish today. All right. Now I'm putting some fresh thyme in there. And I'm going to cover and simmer this for about 45 minutes until the turkey is soft. Then I'm putting in a cup of butternut squash. You could also use pumpkin. Now mine is frozen, so I'm going to just let this defrost for a few minutes before I add in my vegetables back to the pan. I will also add in my greens. Now y'all know I don't like to be cutting up greens, so I'm gonna let the store do that for me. Okay, I'm putting in 2 pounds of collard greens. Now some people, I know some of y'all are like, butternut squash, what you coconut milk, what you doing, girl, what you doing? Look, trust me, the butternut squash is just going to add a natural sweetness. You know how sometimes collard greens can be bitter, so you add in a little bit of sugar. The butternut squash is going to do that for us, as well as the coconut milk, in a natural way. I also put on a scotch bonnet, and I cover this and I let this cook for about 45 minutes covered. I'm then going to go in and mix it. I'm going to add a little bit more water. And at this point, I feel like it needed a chicken bouillon cube and a little bit of Vegeta. After I seasoned this, I then allowed it to cook for about 45 more minutes. In total, I cooked my collard greens for about an hour and a half until they are tender. Of course, you need to go in and check your collard greens to make sure that they get to the tenderness that you like. You could also do all of this in a pressure cooker and just pressure cook this for 35 minutes total. And you don't even need to, if you have the turkey wings cut up, you actually don't even need to do them separately. You could just put it all in. However, I was using mine for the turkey, so I just did it in a pot today. Now, we are going to make some delicious black-eyed peas and yellow rice. Adding the black-eyed peas adds a lot of fiber, so I love to put that in. I have the Holy Trinity. I got some peppers, some onions, and some celery. Amen. And we are going to saute that in a tablespoon of butter for about 2 minutes until it is nice and fragrant and you can just smell everything. Now, I don't want my garlic to burn, so I'm putting in 2 cloves of garlic after they have already sauteed. I'm just going to cook this for about 30 seconds. I'm throwing in a bay leaf and a lot of seasonings and spices. They'll be in the description box. Of course, there's some turmeric in there because this is yellow rice. It got to be yellow, okay? I have a cup and a half of rice and I'm going to toast it until it is dry. I have washed the rice and I don't want the extra moisture. This is 1 can of black-eyed peas that I have drained. I'm going to mix this together and then I'm going to add 3 cups of water and 1 chicken bouillon cube. If you don't like chicken bouillon, you can just use chicken broth, okay? Problem solved. I'm going to cut this on low and I'm going to simmer this for 20 minutes until the rice is tender and fluffy. And whoo, this tastes so good. I hope you guys like this little fusion, that I've done with the rice here. Now, this whole meal was banging. It could slap. Let me know if you like these fusion dishes that I'm doing. I have a lot of ideas. Let me know in the comments. Remember that I love you and Jesus loves you. And I know I'm going to see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Subscribe if you like more recipes, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.